Good afternoon. It is January 22nd and it is day 13 of the 2024 legislative session. Just wanted to give you an update on some of the things the West Virginia Chamber is monitoring and watching over at the Capitol this week. First off, the filing period for the 2024 elections closes this Saturday at midnight. So anyone who's considering running for office in West Virginia still has about 5.5 days left in order to go ahead and declare office for what you want to run. We have the state Senate, the House of Delegates, circuit judges, the state Supreme Court, governor, all the Board of Public Works, and a United States Senate seat on the ballots, as well as several other county and municipal offices. So this is going to be a big election cycle, and candidates right now are going over and filing for office. We've had, in fact, 2 candidates this morning who have been expected to file for governor have done so. So it is a busy day at the Secretary of State's office. Now, the legislative session is well underway and a lot is happening. One of the areas that we are really hearing from our members deals with child care. And the West Virginia House of Delegates has established a child care task force, and it is being chaired by Kathy Hess-Krause, but it also has a bipartisan group of lawmakers from the House on that task force, as well as committee staff. They are looking at a number of things in order to improve child care access and availability and quality in West Virginia. As part of that, the Chamber has 2 pieces of legislation. One of those bills would expand the tax credit that was passed in 2022 from 50% to 100% for businesses that create a new daycare facility on their premises. This was a groundbreaking bill supported by the West Virginia Chamber in 2022, and there is a bill both on the Senate and the House to expand that. The other tax credit that the Chamber is specifically advocating for is a new tax credit for businesses that operate a daycare facility, and that tax credit would provide 100% credit for the operating costs of a daycare facility on an employer's premises. Now, this bill would not be able to be used in conjunction with the existing law that was passed in 2022, but it would provide employers another opportunity to receive some assistance for providing child care to their workers. This issue is critically important because West Virginia has the lowest workforce participation rate in the country by a few percentage points. And a big reason of that is that people are unable to work because of the cost of childcare versus how little they would make after their paycheck deducted childcare expenses. So that is something the Chamber is championing, and those bills were provided to the legislature by our organization. Another aspect of this that the Chamber is very supportive of is permanently changing the reimbursement rate to daycare providers from the state for subsidized children. Prior to the COVID pandemic, subsidized children daycare providers were reimbursed for subsidized children based on attendance. Now that means if the child doesn't show up that day, the daycare provider didn't get paid. The problem with that is you still have all of your expenses, your overhead costs, your staffing, utilities, and so forth. So during the pandemic, that was changed to an enrollment basis. If that is not kept permanent, then daycare providers are going to be faced with greatly limiting the number of subsidized children they can take in order to keep their doors open. And that would affect some of our West Virginians who need these services the most. Now, the Department of Health and Human Resources, which is currently being renamed, is saying those funds are set to expire this September. So the legislature is looking at mandating that it stay on an enrollment basis going forward, and the Chamber is very supportive of that. There are a number of other things the Chamber is looking at, as well as a tax credit, or the legislature is looking at, as well as a tax credit directly to parents who receive a federal tax credit, just to provide a little extra assistance. So those are things that are really moving forward. We are also watching a number of other bills. I will continue to step back in and update you on what's going on at the Capitol, but I wanted to make sure that you were aware of some of these very important issues that are moving forward right now. Thank you for your continued support of the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce, and as always, if you have questions about legislation, feel free to email me. My email address is bdayton@wvchamber.com, and so if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to get back in touch with you. Thank you.